Hey there! In today's video we're going to train our attacking skills by analyzing a complete game. The game we're going to analyze actually never occurred. It's a line that I made up while preparing my Chessable course in the Spanish for Knights about a year ago. And yeah, it's based in the analysis of Bodnaruk-Nasirova, a model game that I used in that course. But at some moment there was a line that wasn't played, and I developed that line to discover that there are some beautiful and quite instructive attacking ideas. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go right into the ideas. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6, the four knights, and bishop b5, the so-called Spanish four knights. Yeah, that is the theme of my Chessable course. I created a repertoire for whites around the Spanish four knights, and I think it's a pretty interesting and solid repertoire. Now, bishop d6, not the most common. The most common is bishop b4. Also, knight d4 is pretty common and really a nice option for black. But bishop d6 is interesting as well. It's a little bit odd looking. The bishop there is blocking the d pawn. But black's intention is to have a lot of flexibility, sometimes to play a6, b5, and in other occasions to castle, play rook e8, bishop f8, or bishop c5 and d6. Yeah, the thing is that playing bishop c5, we already know by now that knight takes e5, it's a really nasty idea and helps white a lot. And now d4 recovering the piece. So this is why bishop d6 is a slow way to build black's position. Okay, against this, d3 is a pretty interesting way to continue. Yeah, white is having some flexibility with the king. We're not castling right away, opening the diagonal for this bishop. And okay, the game continues with a6, bishop a4, b5. It's more common to see castle when we can continue with a3, creating a escape route for our bishop. And sometimes there is a very interesting idea related, especially when h6 comes, g4 is pretty interesting. Yeah, we're planning to play g5, and in case of knight takes g4, rook g1, and we are attacking black's king. But the game continues with b5, bishop b3, and knight a5. Quite natural. Black is ready to capture our light square bishop. Yeah, but we have to understand that knight a5 has a very concrete concession, and this concession is leaving d4 and e5 less defended. So white continues with d4. Surprisingly, we move the d pawn again, and yeah, that's the right moment to do it. E takes d4, and queen takes d4. Yeah, we're preparing e5, and we're in no rush to castle. We can castle both on the king side or on the queen side, it depends. So after castle, bishop g5, yeah, watch out, e5 is not such a good move. it's a bad move because of knight c6. The knight retreats, attacking the queen and the pawn, and after moving the queen, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, queen takes e5, and rook e8, and we lose the queen. So here, playing bishop g5 is much better. Yeah, we're pinning the knight and preparing a long castle. Well, the game continues with bishop e7, e5, knight takes b3, a takes b3, knight e8, and now after bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, we reach a critical moment. Yeah, we're doing pretty well, and it seems that we can grab a pawn actually by playing knight takes b5, or we can simply continue our development with either castling long or castling short. The game between Bodnaruk and Nasirova continues with short castle, and after bishop b7, knight d5, and okay, white went on to win a nice game, but I think this wasn't so strong as the most natural long castle, putting pressure on d7. This hasn't been played, and from now on, the moves we're going to follow are an analysis. And well, for black, I thought that playing d6 makes plenty of sense, as in this way this bishop is ready to get to e6, sometimes to f5 or g4, and the pawn is not hanging anymore on d7, so I thought that was pretty normal, standard move. And well, we can start our training session right here. Why to play? What would you play? Well, there are several ways to continue, but queen e4 is a very nice one. Yeah, we attack the rook and we prepare an attack against the king side. The game may continue with rook b8. Now we earn a tempo by playing knight d5. The queen is under attack and has to control g5 in order to avoid knight g5. So queen d8 is more or less forced. And here we are. This is a very interesting moment. What would you play? If you feel like, you can pause the video. This is a really critical moment. Spending some time here is a good idea. There are several interesting ideas for white. Well, the move I found was h4. Yeah, we're enabling knight g5, preparing an attack against the king. It has to be noted that playing in a materialistic way by capturing on d6, e takes d6, c takes d6, and knight e7, king h8. Yeah, white is enjoying a fantastic position now. We're doing great. But trying to win the exchange by playing knight c6 is a bad idea, as it runs into bishop b7. And in case we capture on d8, the queen simply, well, they capture the queen back, and well, our knight is sort of trapped, and we're even worse, I mean. So trying to win the exchange is a little bit premature, and well, runs into bishop b7. On the other hand, h4 is a very nice way to create some threats. Well, now the game continues with h6, that I consider a sad necessity. Of course, playing g6 here is a horrible move, and h5, bringing the rook into action and creating threats against black's king, is really strong. On the other hand, not moving black's king side pawns, playing something like c6, runs into knight g5, threatening mate, threatening queen takes h7, checkmate, g6, and knight b4. Now we're threatening knight takes c6, d5, and the simple queen f4. Yeah, and now black is into a very nasty position. Yeah, we're threatening knight takes c6, and at the same time we're threatening h5 to open the h file, and the attack is overwhelming for black. So the game continues with h4, h6, and here again is your turn. I highly encourage you to stop the video and try to find the strongest move. Well, the game continued with knight g5, a fantastic attacking resource. Yeah, we're threatening mate, and yeah, we're sacrificing the knight in order to open the h file. H takes g5, h takes g5, threatening mate again, and here we gain plenty of attacking resources. Yeah, on the one hand, yeah, the threat is pretty direct, but sometimes we can do it in more tempi, like rook h2, rook dh1, and then threaten to come to h8. Besides, this knight is pretty active, as the queen is. The queen can come to h4 and try to get into black's king side and deliver checkmate. So this is a pretty nice idea. The bad thing for black is that not capturing by playing something like f5 runs into e takes f6 and passant, And yeah, this is a checkmate after knight takes f6, knight takes f6, rook takes f6, queen h7, king f8, queen h8, king e7. Now we have several ways to win, but I mean, queen takes g7, king e8, rook h e1, bishop e6, rook takes e6, rook takes e6, and queen f7, checkmate. A very straightforward attack. Well, so instead, g6, instead of capturing the knight, playing g6, rounds into e takes d6, and with the idea of answering c takes d6 with knight e7, king g7, and now this time we can play knight c6, as bishop b7 is simply answered by queen d4. Yeah, we unpin by taking advantage of the situation of the exposed position of black's king, and then we capture the rook. Yeah, because queen f6 is forced and knight takes b8, winning the game. Well, all in all, after knight g5, black's position is collapsing, but taking the knight is the best black can try. Okay, after h takes g5, luckily black can answer with queen takes g5 check. Yeah, this is a way to stop our queen coming to h4. Yeah, playing g6 runs into queen h4, and that's it. Yeah, black is going to get mated on h7 or on h8. Well, on the other hand, playing f5, g takes f6, and this is too much. It's impossible to stop white's threats. So queen takes g5, f4, and it seems it's over as the queen is attacked. And of course, queen g6 is not a good idea because of knight e7 checkmate. Yeah, we're threatening a couple of different checkmates. We're threatening queen h7, and e7 must be guarded, as otherwise knight e7 is checkmate. Luckily for black, f5 is a nice move, getting the f7 square for the king. And here we reach another critical moment, and we have to decide how to continue the attack. So again, I suggest you to stop the video and try to find the strongest move. Well, the game continued with f takes g5. Not the only move to continue the attack, as queen e3 is also pretty normal. Yeah, after queen d8, queen h3, and white's attack is really strong. After f5, f takes g5, f takes e4, and now I ask you, what was white's idea? Because after trading queens, it appears that the attack has already vanished. Yeah, the queen is the most dangerous piece, and that's the one that creates the mating threats. So how to continue the attack? How to continue threatening things? Well, the answer is clear, g6. Yeah, now we're threatening knight e7 checkmate, and it's a pretty difficult situation for black. The rook has 1, 2, and 3 squares available. And I mean, this one is not such a great one, as g takes f7 is winning, but even worse, rook h8, king takes h8, and g takes f7 queening. It's impossible to stop our pawn from queening. So against rook f7 we win right away. g6, rook f5 is the other move. We have a straightforward win with knight e7, king f8, and knight takes f5, bishop takes f5, and rook d f1. Yeah, and we're going to pick this bishop, and the position with the next exchange is winning for us, and the only move is rook f2. So how to finish the game? Yeah, by now we have more than one way to win, but I want you to analyze and discover your own solution before letting you know how the game proceeded. Well, the game proceeded with the shocking rook h8. Yeah, rook h8 is a very fancy move with the intention of king h8, knight e7, trapping black's king. The king won't be able to move to g8, and we're threatening, rook h1 checkmate. But there was another fancy solution, but well, more materialistic. Knight e7, king f8, and knight c6, threatening the rook. And black's king is not able to come to e7 any longer, so we win the exchange by this way, and we win the game. Okay, rook h8 wins by attack, even in the ending. King takes h8, knight e7, and well, it's really tough for black to stop our threats. The only way to stop it is bishop h3. This is an ingenious defense, is blockading the h file. So how to proceed? Rook h1. I'm sure you found this move. It's an easy one. And now black is forced to play rook f1. And after rook takes f1, now we're threatening rook f8. Things are pretty nasty for black. Knight f6, e takes f6, bishop g2, attacking the rook and controlling h1 at the same time, so we cannot deliver checkmate right away. So rook f4. Now we're threatening rook h4, and after the forced g takes f6, how to finish the game. This one is already completely winning and not a difficult one, but and even I can say we have more than one. Okay, the game continued with rook h4, king g7, rook h7, and after king f8, g7, and our pawn is going to queen, so black can resign already. The game is about to finish also by checkmate. After king e8, g8 equals queen, king d7, knight d5, king c6, and rook takes c7 checkmate. Well, a very nice attacking resource. The idea of playing h4 to enable knight g5 is fairly common in this kind of opposite flank castle, but after h6, playing knight g5, even when it's typical, is pretty nice to see this kind of attacking idea. And in case you find these ideas interesting, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel in case you haven't done it. Thank you. As you can see, the Spanish variation of the 4-knight can be pretty poisonous and, well, aggressive, not in the way those risky gambits of the Italian are, but in a very different way that you go building your position little by little. But anyway, fighting for the initiative from the very opening. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed the game, and well, see you next time. Goodbye.